And hello, everyone. It's FANzine Live. It's Tom, and this is the crowdfunded zines issue or edition. We're going to take a look at a book called Sycamore, a graphic novel, which actually is a compilation of short comics by a contributor called Briggs. Interesting background on this. It is published by Third Bear Press, who did the Boxes series that I showed off about a month or so ago. I'll probably link it in the show notes. But anyway, so yeah, Third Bear Press did that. And because I purchased boxes from them, I got added to their mailing list. And they started showing off this book, Sycamore, by Briggs. And there wasn't a ton to it, but you can see it's a really, really evocative cover. It's got some ideas to it that I just hadn't seen in comics. And I mean, you can see this is a photo, I should say, first and foremost. This ribbon and the grommets that are popped in there, that's all real. These are real leaves. This is a cutout and placed over image of a deer. This is actual cross stitching into the graph paper behind it. And I'll just show you for giggles. The back of this page actually shows you what the back of the cross stitching looked like, what the back of the ribbon looked like. So this is basically the back of this page. Really creative. But anyway, so Sycamore was a crowdfunding campaign. And the folks over at Third Bear Press said, you know, this is a really great book. And Briggs is a fantastic creator, and they felt compelled when they saw their work that Third Bear wanted to print this book. It did not succeed as a crowdfunded thing. It did not hit its goal for financing. However, Third Bear was so passionate about the project, about Sycamore, that they went ahead and printed 100 copies so that they could sell them at shows and the like. Third Bear's over in the UK, and so to help out Briggs, who is in the US, I believe in Pennsylvania, they shipped a handful, I want to say like 20 of the 100 copies over to Briggs, and Briggs now is selling them on their site. Pretty cool. And so I immediately picked one up when I heard that this was going to go to press anyway. And you can see why. This is a very different type of collection, a very different type of zine that we're talking about. And I have fallen in love with this. Literally, as I record this, received this book yesterday. So I read it last night, and it's a relatively easy read from a reading and text point of view. It is a fascinating read from a visual point of view. Briggs has a master's in fine art. You can tell. This is, in my mind, some really special stuff. It, in many ways, speaks to what I love most about small press and comics and the experimentation that you can do. You see it in so many creators that we have. When Larry Johnson does a dream diary, when Steve Willis does some of his really esoteric stuff with Morty Comics and Cranium Frenzy, Matt Levin with Walking Man. I mean, things that you just can't see and don't see. The incredible experimentation happens in this medium, and this is a fantastic example. So we're going to take a look through this. I'm not going to read you every single thing, but you can see, you know, you've got your photo. You can see the masking tape right there. You can see that the leaf, the sycamore leaf being done there. This is an overlay. So you've got some cross stitching here. Flip the page over. It's cross stitching again. Most of it, as you can see, the contents, most of it is done, and there are like a whole ton of combination, or a whole ton of stories and former mini comics that have been combined into this collection. Most of it is done with a uniform text style, though this particular one is done handwritten, and you can see the text style is up here, the enjoyment of solitary pursuits. I'm going to flip to the back. I forgot to tell you this part. To give you some background, this is a collection of short comics by celebrated creator Kay Briggs, created between 2014 to 2020, documenting the author's tumultuous struggle to remain in the UK and ultimate return to the US. The works are highly experimental, no kidding, showing the development of Briggs' signature sequential style and emotionally poetic voice. Comics are drawn on scraps of graph paper or old newspapers, ScotRail tickets, ScotRail being the Scottish rail service, ScotRail tickets, leaves, and old photographs found in the family home slipped through the panels. Comics as visual memory, comics as DIY underground art, comics as an act of self-discovery. These stories have previously appeared in Magpie, published by Throwaway Press, and Fox and Heron, self-published. All right, should have done that earlier. Apologies. Okay, so you can see this one's done on graph paper, and these are just general reflections where Briggs has, using almost a poetry type style, inserted art with the text, and it comes out to be something bigger, where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. I mean, here you've got the sideways look, you've got the time going by. And these are all individual vignettes. So this one's all pretty much done on graph paper. This one is done, looks like, on line paper, standard notebook paper. Combining photos, looks like some star stickers. I mean, just little of everything. So you've got some collage type work going on. The book itself is immaculately created. The paper is a wonderful, thick matte. The cover is even thicker, almost like a cardstock matte. It's gorgeous. But these look really more like photographs or really high quality scans that really make you think about what you can do with comics. And every story is a different type of experiment. This one's collage. The 9-panel grid is still there. You can see you've got some lines through here, even with the connection. This one's interesting with the 9-panel grid because you can see that the combination of the 3 panels across the top make an image. Then you got it on the second row and the third row, each having their own image. But the thing I like about it is that by breaking it up panel by panel within the image, it gives a sense of time passing. Love that. Some nice figure work. This one's about cats, and you can see the cats hanging out on the walls. This one's called Space Cats, and this is where you can see what a really strong visual artist Briggs is. I mean, these layouts are just amazing. Then we go back. This one's a piece about having to go to Germany for a while. This one, what's it called? I wish I remember what it was called. Anyway, the thing I like about this is it's a 12-panel grid, 4 across, 3 down. And if you look carefully, you can see that the first and third, and then what appears to be the second and fourth, and back to the first and third, are all the same image. Then the second and fourth here, the first and third here, and the second and fourth here are all the same image. So you've got the combination of the two images put up right against each other. Yeah, as groups, symbols, and society and social types are generally defined by means of antonyms in pairs. Ambivalence will seem to be an intrinsic quality of the eternal feminine. So they literally combine the two. Fascinating. This one's done with road maps in the background. I mean, look at some of this. I honestly don't recall having seen anything this multi-layered, really multimedia done over maps again. And these are the ScotRail cards, looks like. I don't recall seeing anything like this outside of like the covers for Sandman from DC Comics back in the 80s. And then you get into some of this wonderful, it's not legend. I'm coming up with the wrong word there, but you can see it's just amazing, amazing work. I was so bummed when this didn't make it as a crowdfunded piece, because I thought it had the potential to be exactly what it is. And when Third Bear said, basically, screw it, I'm going to print the thing anyway, I was so happy. And then even better, I didn't have to pay for the shipping from overseas. Look at the collage work here. Fun piece about tabling at a comic show. But you go from like a standard 6-panel, interesting perspective written from basically from behind the table at the comic show, all the interactions that they have, flipping from that to this. I mean, this incredible, initially it starts out as a 3-color thing, and then it goes further and further. I mean, this is just amazing. This piece is about a divorce, about the divorce that they went through. The divorce papers actually are in the background on this. Tarot cards. And look at these tarot cards. Gorgeous. An artist could spend forever just absorbing each of these stories. This is interesting. I believe this is about going back to the United States after I guess you'd say, trauma that they experienced over in Europe, and talking about going back to a place of old anger. I love this particular page. It's clearly an old romance comic, but then you can see the overlay of the pencil with the eyes, the nose, the mouth. And so it says the anger is old and adolescent. And so the adolescent, of course, being the old romance comic, and how they now are older and newer. It almost has a feeling of like Briggs looking at the comic and living in the comic. It's just, I find that fascinating. And then overlay over the map with the respect to the 9-panel grid, but not necessarily being bound by it, because of course 9-panel grid is overlaid. I like this one too. I mean, you can really see the art chops that Briggs displays. Just incredible. I would suggest that this is a somewhat mature book in the sense that it's not a standard cartoony type thing. This is really a personal exploration on Briggs's part. However, I also don't think it's not full of sex and guns violence. It's just, you've got some deep emotional issues that are being discussed. And I think also there's a certain maturity required to read something like this, because you've got to understand the art, you've got to respect the art, and you've got to place the art in the proper context. And I told Briggs when I was looking at this and looking at some, I've got picked up a couple of the other books as well that Briggs has done. I suggested that I'm going to have a hard time discussing this just because I'm not, good Lord, that is so cool. I'm not well versed enough in the language of art to do more than say, wow, this is cool, and that type of stuff. So I hope I did this justice. Sycamore. Can't recommend it enough. If I understand correctly, and I see that this is issue 9 or piece 95 out of the 100 in the first print. If I understand correctly, Third Bear Press has, I think, 80 or 90 copies. And as I talk, Third Bear is going to Thought Bubble, the big comic show over in England. So many of those issues surely will get sold. Many of those copies surely will get sold because, I mean, anybody who looks through this will just love it. Briggs has a few copies of their own available at their store. I will post the link. If you are interested at all in the possibilities of art and sequential art, some through drawing, some through multimedia, some through collage, and everything in between, get yourself a copy of this. It is just fantastic. So yeah, Sycamore, short comics by K. Briggs from Third Bear Press. Absolutely amazing. And I've got a little something extra on the backside. All right, so we've got ourselves a copy of Sycamore here. And this is my copy. I ordered it from K. Briggs. But as I was working on reading through it, I got an email from Briggs who explains to me that they accidentally sent me a second copy, and it is en route as I speak. And they said, you can send it back if you want, or you can give it to a friend or whatever. So I wrote back and suggested to Briggs, well, you know, I've kind of got this video channel. Why don't we make a giveaway out of it? And so if you are interested in getting yourself a copy of Sycamore for free, go ahead and leave a comment in this particular video. Do a like and a comment, and perhaps in your comment, share a little of what you find so interesting or provocative about Briggs's work and why you would be interested in reading a little more about it. And you'll get yourself entered into a random drawing for a copy of Sycamore. And I will do the random drawing probably somewhere like on a Facebook or an Instagram type short video. But yeah, copy of Sycamore for free by K. Briggs. It's yours. Just leave a like and leave a comment in this video. Heck of a deal. Good luck to you. Thank you. And with that, I will see you next time.